Hack a dozen companies before breakfast.
Must be a new 0 day, right?
Industry news lately talking about Zestix hacking major airlines and police forces around the world without breaking a sweat. We'll show you why all this means is that the industry is suffering from collective amnesia. They've amassed a whole lot of data for sale, a lot of it very sensitive, but the news isn't the targets, it's the speed.
We're talking about unauthorized access to at least 50 organizations around the world.
Zestix is targeting cloud storage platforms, specifically services like ShareFile and Nextcloud, where companies keep sensitive contracts, protected health information, and intellectual property. And Zestix is walking right through the front door. Here's his methodology.
And if you follow the Snowflake story of 2024,
this is going to sound painfully familiar. It starts with Infostealer malware.
Behind the surface, follow the chain from initial access to lasting pain.
Welcome to Behind the Surface. Here, we deep dive into the real tactics and techniques driving today's cyber attacks. Every episode breaks down what threat actors are currently doing, translating their underground methods into clear, analyst-friendly insights. This channel is built to give you the visibility and vocabulary you might not find in glossy reports.
info stealing malware, stealers.
Vidar, SteelC, or Lumma. Well, Microsoft took down Lumma.
No.
Yeah, ESET took part. There was BitSight, Lumen, Cloudflare, CleanDNS, GMO Registry, FBI, and Europol.
You sound like a hacker waking up from a nightmare.
It was a global strike, takedown. They're out of business.
Your takedown is complete.
To the global takedown.
Nope. Check the chatter on the forums.
Wait a minute, it looks like May was just business as usual.
Let's pull up the any.run stats. Look at the Lumma trends for 2025. Yeah, where's that May disruption?
A little dip, then rising faster than ever.
They just put up new servers.
Until September 15th. What happened on September 15th?
Lumma rats, doxing website, real names, high-res photos, home addresses, passport scans, personal bank account details, and their Telegram accounts got taken over. They destroyed the trust in Lumma and the administrators in their OPSEC. Affiliates fled, SteelC, back in popularity, Vidar, back in popularity. Those teams seized that opportunity. Vidar 2.0, total rewrite.
The Vidar devs say they were working on the new version for months, and it's released pretty soon after the Lumma doxing. That's pretty lucky timing for them.
Lucky like a warehouse burning down the night before an inventory audit.
Just like I said on the forums, Locke, the bird and I, best friends. Besides, do I look like someone who would steal someone's documents?
Infrastructure is replaceable. Anonymity and trust aren't.
The Lumma Stealer never really went away, though, and it's currently back under development. Here's how it works. A lot of companies hire contractors and don't give them devices. That often means they don't have the company's security stack on the devices. The contractors typically aren't buying dedicated work machines. Of course, this could also happen with employees who are using their personal machines under a bring your own device policy, or there could be no policy and there's no rules, and the company doesn't even consider how employees and contractors are logging into their infrastructure. Might not even be a thought they have. A contractor or employee has logged into their employer's infrastructure and saved those credentials on their gaming computer, and then downloads a cracked game
Or a Roblox cheat.
a pirated movie,
Or a Roblox mod.
or something they were sent on Roblox. It could be a click fix attack even.
It's probably Roblox.
It's got malware in it. The malware scrapes their browser for saved passwords and cookies. Each Infostealer is a bit different and can be configured differently, but they grab pretty similar data. There's usually a screenshot of the desktop or a screenshot of whatever's going on at the time the stealer runs. There's passwords scraped from browser data. There's cookies scraped from browser data. These are particularly important because that gets you past MFA in a lot of cases. There's credit card scraped from browser storage. There's browser history for each browser. There are the hardware and software fingerprint.
That fingerprint data cannot be attackers sail right past a lot of conditional access controls.
What graphics card's running, what processor, what processes are running, what paths are those processes installed in, what software is installed.
In some business models, the sellers specify what services you'll find credentials to inside of an individual logged file. And that's usually called buying a bot from a bot master. This bot, that is a package of all the credentials from one computer, usually a few hundred credentials, usually sells for around $10. That gets you exclusive access. Once you pay that money, it's taken down from the marketplace. In other business models, you buy a subscription to a cloud that has many logs, but you never know what you're going to get. This cloud has other subscribers. Could be thousands, could be hundreds, could be 5. Fewer means higher price. But just to give you a general idea, these subscriptions gain a full logs from a few thousand computers per week for a few $100s per week. Next, there are specialty markets and specialty sellers that sell access to a particular service, say Amazon or Bank of America. This is where those sellers have bought the bots, verified the credentials, and checked what they have access to. These credentials can sell for a much higher price. Access to a 5-figure bank account, for example, could sell for thousands.
Let's recap some of the terminology we just went over. Stealer, that's another word for info-stealing malware, like Vidar, Lumma, Stealer. Those are the big ones lately. That's the software that runs on the endpoint, takes a snapshot, and sends that data back to its C2 infrastructure, its command and control infrastructure. And then they delete themselves. They aren't sitting there like traditional botnet zombies where they maintain persistence. They can, but that's not the most common approach. Log. This is the zip file produced by the stealer. Now, this isn't log like a server log or you search through logs from the host. It refers specifically to that zip file full of the cookies, the passwords, screenshot, and those other contents that we talked about. Bot. This is the same as log, but used on different marketplaces. It does not mean that when a criminal buys a bot, they're buying control of that infected endpoint. This is the same as a log. Cloud. It's not AWS or Azure. It's a subscription to a channel or repo in Telegram that has lots of logs. Traffer team. Groups that distribute the malware. And they use a lot of different approaches. Cracked games, pirated software, pirated movies, ruses in YouTube channels. Hey, tutorial, get free stuff in the game. It's malware. Or click fix. You need to fix your printer driver. You need to fix your microphone. You prove you're a human by hitting these keystrokes. It's malware. The traffers are the ones organizing those ruses and distributing the malware. Finally, knock rate. That's the success rate. Someone falls for the ruse. Do the traffers get their data? A good traffer team with good social engineering, good distribution networks, with a good stealer that bypasses EDR is going to have a high knock rate. People fall for the ruse, and the data will get exfiltrated and sent back to the command and control structure. A poor knock rate, those traffers aren't very convincing, or that stealer gets caught by EDR easily, and the data never make it back to the C2 to be sold on the markets.
Zestix doesn't have to hack your company. They just go to the market and buy the logs. Now here's where the Snowflake comparison becomes undeniable.
Right, the Mandian report.
In 2024, hackers bought old credentials and logged into Snowflake cloud instances because companies didn't have multi-factor authentication turned on. It's 2026. Zestix is doing the same thing. They are taking these stolen usernames and passwords, some of which have been sitting in dark web databases for years, and trying them against corporate file portals. And it works.
The initial compromise of Infostealer malware occurred on contractor systems that were also used for gaming and downloads of pirated software.
They're just trying every key on that key ring until one of them unlocks a door somewhere.
What's the key ring again here?
Forget the analogy. They load the stolen credentials into OpenBullet and it tests them against the service to see which of those are still valid. Some of these are months, years old.
These cloud providers should really be securing identities better, shouldn't they?
In the cloud shared responsibility model, identity is your responsibility, yours.
Yeah, now I remember. They made that mistake in 2024 and they did a mistake in 2025. At least companies won't make the same mistake in 2026.
That would just be silly luck. Until next time.
Keep following the chain.
Behind the surface, follow the chain from initial access to lasting pain. With detective lock, the signal's clear. Breaking it down, logically here. Process injection, deep in scripts. Toolbox and cover, operator slips and playbooks, different